anything because I can never see anything at the beginning of the broadcast because the internet sucks butts. But I've muted it. Can you guys see anything?
I don't see that the lives.
Oops. I see the advertisement.
Oh. All right.
Mute.
All right. Then we are good to go. We are Gucci. We are Louis Vuitton. So welcome back to another episode of Omnibros Live. This week, I, Riley Moe, the Omnibus Collector, am your guide through the topic of love.
The tunnel of love.
The tunnel of love, yes, if you will. Just in time for Valentine's Day. And as always, I am joined with a couple of top blokes, if you will. Mr. Hardcover Reviews himself.
Howdy, howdy.
And I've got, of course, with us the Omni Dog, Jess Bragg.
Hit him with the hind.
Baba booey. Welcome to Love Line.
Now, Jess, is it true? I saw you say this somewhere that if you tell Alexa,
yeah,
Baba Booey,
yeah, she says hit him with the hind.
I'm gonna have to get an Alexa just to find out.
It's really cool. I was listening. I said, Alexa, play my Sex Pistols radio on Pandora, and I've been listening to punk music all afternoon.
Nice,
good choice.
Because as Riley did the drunk show that time when he had imbibed, my Vicodin prescription got refilled, so I'm high on drugs right now. So now you'll see me what I'm like when I'm high on drugs.
All right. Well, it's going to be an exciting show. We got love, we got drugs, we got rock and roll. I've got a mosquito bite on the back of my head, apparently, that I just noticed. So we're going to have a good show today. Anyway, first off, you guys, how are you guys doing? How's it been going since last week?
Super good.
Great. Can't complain. I'm halfway through Legion so far, so that's a good sign.
I didn't, after we talked about it earlier, I did not get a chance to start watching it because I ran off and ran some errands. And by errands, I mean that I went to the other side of town to go buy some comics. So, you know, the important stuff. But on that note, did you guys get any? I know you guys got some cool stuff since last week because everyone got a lot of cool stuff.
I'll let Jess go first because I got to pull my stuff. I completely forgot. Just give me a sec. I'll be back.
Yeah, I didn't get anything too different than everybody else. I got pretty much what everybody else got. I got Absolute Wonder Woman, which looks absolutely amazing. Gorgeous. I also was lucky enough that I got Realm of Kings before it went out of print immediately or whatever happened. I got Realm of Kings. I got Spider-Gwen because I really love Spider-Gwen. And I'm interested to read this next humongous book. Alpha Flight. This is one big monster of a book. I'm very interested in reading Canada's X-Men because I've never read them before, but I love John Byrne. So, and then I also got, but I forgot to bring them down, the 3 issues that you told me about, L on Earth, the Elseworld story.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it?
I haven't started it yet. I just got them today.
I love them. I love those issues.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I will definitely read them. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got a day after Luis got his order.
Oh, awesome.
Of course.
Mine came in a day late.
I think I actually got mine the same day as Luis, so I wasn't so far behind this time.
Oh, you guys. Now, I'm having an issue with YouTube. For some reason, I'm watching your 2016 collection video.
What?
Yeah, I clicked the link and the Q&A disappeared, so I'm gonna have to go back and while Luis is talking, I'm gonna have to go find the question and answer thing.
People are asking me if I picked up Daredevil. No, I did not pick up the Daredevil Omnibus simply because money is tight and it's Stan Lee's writing, and I have a lot of retro comics that I need to get through, and it's very prose heavy. But as far as what I've picked up this week, I picked up Love is Love. Highly recommend you pick this one up. It's a series of one-page comics, and pretty much all the proceeds of this go to the Orlando Pulse victims. If you know anything about me, I live in the Orlando area. This was a big event last year that happened. A lot of people from the gay community and a lot of people from the straight community as well were brutally murdered by a crazy person. Guys, pick this up. I mean, some of the top artists and creators have a hand in this. I mean, just to list off a few, you've got Phil Jimenez, Steve Orlando, Gail Simone, let's see, Joe Kelly, Jonathan Hickman, Brian Michael Bendis, Matt Wagner, Jason Aaron, Jason Latour, Mark Millar, just the list goes on. G. Willow Wilson, Jim Lee, all of these guys, they do art or they tell a story in here, and it's for a great cause. It really is. It's only $8. It won't set you back that far at all. It's a nice little trade. Can't wait to read this. I've heard some of the stories in here are very touching and will make you cry.
I have that. I have that book. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it.
Oh, so am I. I can't wait to dive into it. I also picked up Detective Comics from Batman from the Rebirth line. I can't wait to read this. I've read some of Tom King's Batman. I've heard fans say that this is actually stronger than Tom King's Batman, so I'm really looking to dive into this. And plus, you have Clayface on the good side. That's an interesting dynamic that I really want to check out. So I'm excited.
Who wrote that, Luis?
This is James Tynion. Yeah. James Tynion with art by Eddie Barros, Alvaro Martinez, Iber Ferreira, and Raul Fernandez. I'm digging everything from the Rebirth line so far. So can't wait to read that.
Awesome.
I did a preview video of this, but I picked up Spider-Gwen like everybody else. And this, to me, is by far one of the prettiest hardcovers that Marvel has put out. As far as like Under the Dust Jacket, it's gorgeous. I like Under the Dust Jacket more than anything else. I also picked up Sheriff of Babylon Volume 2.
Oh yeah, I picked that up too.
Yeah, because Volume 1 was insanely good. It was one of the best reads that I had last year, and I can't wait to read that. And like everybody else who got in early before they sold out, I got the Realm of Kings Omnibus because I'm a sucker for the Marvel Cosmic line. Not a sucker for the design on the spine. It's kind of off-center. And I don't care about the cover too much or the font that they use. But other than that, didn't pick up much else.
You picked up a lot.
Yeah, it was a good week. It was a real good week. I passed on the Wonder Woman Absolute.
What?
Yeah.
Passed forever or just for this week?
For right now.
Well, hopefully that is amended soon because it's a seriously beautiful book.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's stunning. It's one of the most beautiful books that I've seen.
Well, I've got some stuff, a lot of stuff that y'all showed, a lot of stuff that y'all didn't have. So I'll run through these. First, I have from our good pal Alex over in Australia, aka Sherlock. He sent me the first Bloodshot oversized hardcover from Valiant.
Nice.
So that's the first out of print of the Bloodshot hardcovers that I've gotten. And he threw in there along with it, which I'm really excited about, this book Blue by Pat Grant, who is an Australian comic artist, comic creator. And it's about, I've only read the very beginning of the book, and it just shows some Australian kids on the beach. And according to Alex, it's very accurate as far as displaying what life is like for Australian youth and that kind of surf/beach culture out in Australia. So I'm really excited to read that. I'm always down for a comic that represents something that I'm not that familiar with. So that's going to be awesome. Then
like sex.
What?
Like sex?
That I'm not familiar with? Sure. Then I've got, let's see. I went to, like I said, I went to go buy some comics today, so I found a couple of cool things. I got, these are all half off. So the Thor and Loki Blood Brothers hardcover, oversized hardcover with, written by Rob Brody with artwork by Assad Ribic.
Ribic.
That was adapted to the Blood Brothers motion comic thing. So I've never seen that, but I figure if it's adapted, I might as well get around to reading it. And obviously, I love Ribic's artwork, so really need to get down on that. And then I found a couple of volumes of Green Lantern starring Kyle Rayner. I already had The Power of Ion, so I just have all three of these together. One of them comes afterwards, and that is Passing the Torch, written by Judd Winnick. And then I have another one that came before it, Emerald Allies, which features Kyle with a crossover into the Connor Hawke Green Arrow series. And this one's written by Ron Mars and Chuck Dixon. So those are all the random ones that I bought. And then for my order from InStock, I got mostly the same things that y'all got. I have Realm of Kings, I have Alpha Flight, I have Wonder Woman, and I have Spider-Gwen. All those are sitting right here, but I'm not going to show them because y'all already did twice. I also got TMNT Volume 4. Collects another chunk of issues from the currently ongoing TMNT series, issues 29 through 37. And it also collects the Utrum Empire, I forget how to pronounce it, miniseries, and the 2014 annual. So it has a few extra things that that I haven't read because I've only read the ongoing title. And then I also got another Junji Ito volume, Dissolving Classroom. It's small. It was only about $10 on InStock Trades, so I went ahead and ordered it, and I finished this up in a day or so. It's a really interesting little story. I guess I'll talk about in a second whenever we talk about what we read last week. And that said, since that's everything that I bought this past week, what have you guys read?
I'll start. Akira, Volume 5.
Oh, you're blasting through those.
Oh yeah. This is the 5th volume. This is really, the series really has hit its apex. It's pretty much becoming one of my favorite post-apocalyptic series that I've read of all time. Brilliantly well done. Like I said in the past few weeks, not even remotely close to what's in the anime. Not even in the same ballpark at this point. It's crazy how different it is. Digging the hell out of this, really loving it, and I've got one more volume. It's actually in the mailbox right now. I just got to go pick it up to go, so I should be finishing that up for this Monday's video, and you should get my final verdict on Akira. But suffice to say, I'm enjoying the hell out of this, and I can't wait to see how it ends and how different it is from the manga. I'm also reading Thor by J. Michael Straczynski. This is my first time going through this run. I'm having a blast with it so far. I've read just a few issues, but I like what Straczynski is doing. He brings back Donald Blake. He brings back basically the entire Thor mythos, because this is taking place post-Civil War when Asgard was basically destroyed and Ragnarok happened and all the gods had disappeared. Well, Thor is the first one back. Really, really interesting stuff. Really dig it as well. I highly recommend it so far. I'm only a few issues in, but man, what a great jumping on point for Thor. I love it so far. And that's basically what I've read.
Okay. I read Kill or Be Killed by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And it's freaking awesome as always with the God bless you.
That's it. That's
God
all.
bless you. It's an amazing story about a guy who tries to take his life and instead gets saved by a demon, and he's given the task of killing bad guys. So this is just scratching the surface. I'll eventually get this in hardcover. He's a depressed grad student that's in love with his roommate's girlfriend who happens to be his best friend, and he has to go out and kill bad guys. And it's pretty dark. You know, the first person he kills turns out to be a child molester, child porn guy, and it was dark.
That's just
Yeah, just happens to be, but it was good and dark and typical great Ed Brubaker with typical great Sean Phillips. Then I moved on to The Goddamned, which has to be the most goddamned bleakest book I have ever read. It's got Cain, who's lived 1,600 years so far. He can't be killed from the Bible, and it shows the Bible as if you're at all heavily Christian or have strong feelings about the Bible, do not read this book. This portrays the earth as pretty much a scorched earth after Cain invents murder, and it is full of the F word and lots of slaughter, tons of people getting slaughtered all over the place. It's probably the darkest, bleakest book I think I've ever read. And I've read Crossed. So this is one bleak book. I have Mitchell O'Brien to thank for this. He baited me into reading it. And after I loved it, of course. It's by Jason Aaron and with great art. And after those two books just thoroughly depressed me, I had to do a palate cleanse with my buddy, the Scarlet Witch.
Yay.
Yeah, I love this this run by James Robinson, and there was a thing in the Omnibus group about paneling, like who does your favorite panels, and this book has nothing but boss panel after panel is just really cool. Some of the panels that go on in this, I mean, they're so cool and so innovative that I really got a charge out of it because it's a great story that I enjoyed. Witchcraft is sick in the world, and Wanda is trying to atone for her past deeds, and she's it's also got Steve Dillon art in it, which is a plus. So she's out to fix witchcraft and in the world, and it's what she runs up against, various demons, various witches. She has Agnes's Goth or Agatha or whatever the hell her name is. She's got her ghost, but it's mostly it's the Scarlet Witch walking around and being surprised that everybody recognizes her. It's really it was a nice, easy, fun read that I really really got into. It has a Civil War II tie-in, which I was really taken aback with. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be exposed to Civil War II, and I didn't even want to. But it's a standalone issue with her and Quicksilver, and it was actually a good story. I dug it. She stands up to him, and I really dug it a lot. So I dug Scarlet Witch. I highly recommend people read that. This gets an A from me. I really dug it. Next book gets a B+ from me. That was Batman: Death and the Maidens Deluxe Edition. This was excellent Greg Rucka book with Klaus Janson art. Lots of interesting twists and turns in this book. Ra's al Ghul is dying and wants to trade the Batman a chance to visit his dead parents via a serum, but it's much more than that. It's got Talia, and there's a point in this book where I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it's worth picking it up because there's a point in this book that they deal with the Holocaust, and you realize just how twisted and truly evil Ra's al Ghul is. It is jaw-droppingly evil, and if you hated him before, you'll hate him even more now. I give that book like a 7.5 out of 10. It's worth picking up. And then I finally finished this book, Green Lantern 1, which is hurting my back to hold up. I don't have to tell you about it. Everybody knows how great it is. But I finally finished this bastardly big boy of a book. Holy criminy. What an epic. So I finished volume 1. And it's awesome, like everybody says.
Hey.
That's it for me.
Good reading. By the way,
You read Scarlet Witch and enjoyed it, because I feel like not enough people have been reading that series.
I loved it.
the minute you started describing goddamn, my girl went, "Oh, that sounds awesome."
Being someone who is religious, I thought that it was very accurate to how things should have been at that time.
Yeah. I understand. That's a dark story.
It is.
Like I mean, you think about the thing with religion is that usually like people are preaching the PG versions of what's going on in the Bible, and they don't fill in the gaps for you and let you hear all the violence and stuff. But anyone knows it's a really fucking violent tale. And Jason Aaron goes out there and gives you a story that kind of like fills in a little bit of the blank that the Bible doesn't tell you. Basically, it's like the B-side to the Bible, and it's portrayed in a way that I think is very accurate to how it would have been.
Yeah, it's very scorched earth. Every man for himself, killing everybody just to survive.
Yeah, Old Testament was hard stuff, man.
Yeah, it was.
It definitely was.
But I love Scarlet Witch. I encourage everybody to read that. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've really been liking it. I'm crossing my fingers for some sort of hardcover collection to come out, because it ends with issue 15 or 16, something like that.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, so volume 3 is the last one, and when it ends, if they don't have one announced in the next year or so, I'm definitely going to pick up those paperbacks, because James Robinson did some really great work with a lot of good artists.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I worry about with books like that is that they're not gonna do the oversized hardcover, and it'll turn out to be like a Gambit thing where the first 2 paperbacks go out of print, and so that's why I'm picking them up in paperback, because I don't know how sales are, and I don't know if it's going to turn into an OHC. So
probably the best bet. I should probably follow suit.
Well, I am the one with life experience, so
yeah,
you should probably do that.
And in my dream, you were my manager, so.
Well, let me publicly say that I'm digging your glasses. I like your specs.
Thank you. Yeah, I sent Megan a picture after I picked them up, and she was like, she made some sort of comment like, or something like that, like my text back, and I was like, oh, I guess you don't like them, and she's like, no, I think they're horrendous. So I disagree. I like them.
Me too. You tell her I disagree too.
I will. I'll yell it to her.
I like your glasses.
Thank you.
I'm your manager, so I approve. You have my manager's approval.
Good. Anyway, I guess for what I read this week, I started to reread Sea Guy, because I realized how long it had been since I read it when I talked about it last week.
Is that the one with the smoking fish?
Yeah. And I forgot how great the smoking fish, whose name is Chubby the Tuna, I forgot how great he is, and like his commentary, and I read his voice, and it's like, hi, my name's Chubby the Tuna, and stuff like that. Like I give him my own little persona for him, and like when he says stuff, I can hear it in that voice. And then I read, like I said, The Dissolving Classroom by Junji Ito. I still haven't read all of Tomi, but that book's so huge, I was like, I'm going to take a break and read this one, because this one's really thin. This one's like, I don't even know how many pages. It's not long at all. And the story focuses on these two siblings. I think it's less than 200 pages. These two siblings, and basically they're both fucking possessed or something. They're evil. The brother, the older sibling, he apologizes to everyone profusely, and when he does so, people melt, like their brains melt out of their faces, and then their entire bodies melt into a puddle.
Cool. When he apologizes, that
When he
happens?
apologizes to people, like when he apologizes too many times, and then the young girl is just fucking wackadoo, like she's a wackadoo.
Man, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a really quick read. It's not the best of the Junji Ito books that I've read, but it still holds up, and you still get some terrific little scenes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, some really horrific stuff in there. There's one chapter where he keeps telling these girls that they're the most beautiful person ever, and they keep believing him. And they their faces get more and more grotesque over time. It's it's pretty disturbing. I think that was probably my favorite chapter right there. That's pretty much all I read this week. We were watching, my wife and I were watching that FX adaptation of the O.J. Simpson trial. And we just finished that right before we started this. So,
Good things.
Enjoying that. But that's about it. So that's all I read, and I guess now we can move into our main topic. We have, I guess, two parts of our main topic today. Of course, the main topic is love. Today being just a few days ahead of Valentine's Day, we decided to do an episode focused on love. We're going to be talking about a few books that we like that have different relationships in them, and then we're also going to talk. The latter part of the episode is going to be us having taken questions. Luis had people email him questions about relationships and stuff, and we're going to go give quote-unquote relationship advice. I can't guarantee how good my advice is going to be. I mentioned earlier in the group, don't ask me how to bury a body, because I've never done it before.
I'll handle that one.
I have a criminal justice degree, just saying, so I do kind of know how to do it.
Okay.
Get away with it.
Yeah, I'll handle that.
I'm saying I've never done it before, but I'm going to say it with a wink.
We are the three amigos of love.
Yes. So anyway, you guys, whoever wants to start first, talk about whatever book you have that has something to do with love.
Okay. So the one book that I have, I only have one book. Not romance and love comics really aren't that big of a thing that I typically read. But the one book that I'm going to be talking about is Blankets. And my lovely lady is sitting next to me right here because she's going to be helping us with the Q&A section later. And she's also read Blankets. It's actually one of her favorite graphic novels of all time. Blankets is a great series written by Chris Ware and illustrated by him as well. And it basically centers around Chris Ware. It's an autobiographical tale of him growing up and him dealing with religion and him discovering who he is, and at the same time meeting this young woman. The story takes place basically over a winter break. Over a summer break, he goes to this camp and he meets this girl, and the girl pretty much changes his life, and they spend the entire summer together. But as you know, things happen, people separate from each other, and life just gets in the way. Chris Ware being an atheist now, and at one time he was heavily influenced by Christian beliefs. I relate to it on a personal level because a lot of the experiences and a lot of things and a lot of the insecurities that he went through growing up in a heavily Christian household, I did as well. There's preconceived notions of pornography, of things like lust and sinning and things like that Chris Ware tackles very well. The color palette he tends to use is blue and white. Blankets has it's heavily influenced with snow. It uses snow as kind of a form of cleansing and the washing away of old things and the bringing in of new things. I love this series personally. I think it's a great read. It's really quick. It's a one and done graphic novel, and it's really one of the best autobiographical stories that I've read in a long time. And you kind of see where the story's going to go right from the get-go. You're like, well, yeah, it's young love. Chances are this isn't going to last. But still, it's a hell of a ride all the way through. And I think on some level, we all have had kind of that lost love, that love that it was our first love, but we lost touch with them, or things didn't work out, things like that. And to this day, if you look at interviews with Chris Ware, people ask him, hey, what happened to the character? Because he bases the character off of his first love, and he always tends to shy away from it. He never really answers the question. It's probably a reason because it's still a wound that, maybe he still hasn't gotten over. But it's a great read, honestly. If you've never read anything by Chris Ware, he's a fantastic artist and a fantastic author. He also wrote another love story, Habibi, which is, I think, a stronger story as well. But yeah, that's what I got for you. I don't even have blankets on me right now because it's still packed up at my mother's place.
Okay. And when you said Chris Ware, you really meant Craig Thompson, right?
Oh, Craig Thompson. I don't know why I kept saying Chris Ware. I'm so tired. Sorry.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, Chris Ware is the guy I hate.
Yeah, I remembered you saying that, and I was like, let's all keep.
You could have stopped me halfway through it. Oh no, it's Craig Thompson. I don't know why I kept saying.
It would have been rude to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I'm just running on like 8 hours of sleep from the past 3 nights.
Is that because you've been playing that video game?
No. I've just because we were in the hospital and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of other things that have been going on.
Oh, okay. That's code for I've been up playing Resident Evil.
No, I finished that last week actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was fun. It was real fun.
That's awesome. I can't remember the last time I finished a video game. Like I always get stuck at the end. Let's see. Everything I know about love is based on 70s comic books, like Heartthrobs. This is a typically great cover where the girl is manipulating the guy like a puppet. I love romance comics from the 70s. Young Love. It's where I got all my advice, everything that ever happened with me and girls. This one is Super DC Giant. These are rare. The Reckless Losers. 3 people gamble for love. Winner take all.
Sounds
I mean,
like college life.
Right. It's no wonder I was such a success with chicks when I read Falling in Love. These are all DC comics. I just wanted to show those off because I love them so much, because they have the classic DC little thingy there. So I will talk about 2 books quickly. Alex and Ada, which I loved. I happen to be a fan of this kind of artwork, which is one of the Luna brothers. Or no, wait. Who drew this? Didn't Jonathan Luna, right. Okay, so I like his art. Yeah, that was my Craig Thompson, Chris Ware moment. Who the hell is this? It's a story about a society a few years from now where they have chips implanted in their brain, and you can order a robot girlfriend, and Alex gets the robot girlfriend against his will. He just had a bad breakup, doesn't want another girl, but he gets the robot girlfriend, and he ends up actually liking her and hacks into her to make her actually into a loving, feeling creature. It's kind of like that Simpsons episode where you've got Krusty the Clown doll from Treehouse of Horror, and he's the Krusty the Clown doll was set to evil, and so you had to switch him back to good. So he switches the switch on her to make her loving, and society is anti-robot. So I've already gone over this book, but society's anti-robot and definitely against robot love. And it's the trials and tribulations that Alex goes through to keep her a secret, keep their love secret, keep their love alive, and what they have to battle going through artificial intelligence hatred and things like that, where robots are a commonplace occurrence, servants in our lives. I love this book. I thought it was epic. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Beautifully presented. It's touching, very moving, about one man's quest for love and how he tries to achieve it. So I dug this a lot. It was drawn by Jonathan Luna and written by Chris Ware. So the next one, that's a joke. The next one is Deadpool Dracula's Gauntlet, which I loved because Deadpool falls in love with the Queen of the Undead. And they actually have a romance in this. She's Queen of the Vampires. And I thought this was one of the most fun Deadpool books there is, because he finds true love in Shikla. What's her name? Shikla. And it's just a really fun story of typical Deadpool madness versus vampire werewolves and other wacky creatures of the night. And
Is that Grimace?
Is that what?
Is that, holy shit, that's Grimace from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all these furry creatures come to life. I don't know. Deadpool just finally finds love, and of course, it's Queen of the Vampires, and she's married, and it's utter nonsense and total fun, and I just really dug it, and that's my type of romance. Deadpool and Queen of the Vampires. It's included in the Deadpool Omnibus, which just came out, I believe, because this was, if you have the oversized hardcovers, you still need this to understand what's going on. I did not upgrade, so I still need this, but I believe it's in the Omnibus, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a good, funny love story that also has excellent art when you take off the cover. Like all Marvel oversized hardcovers, like Luis, I like the book without the dust jacket more than I like the book with the dust jacket, and I display them that way, except then what the hell do I do with the dust jackets? That's a whole new box of stuff for me to create and for my wife to get pissed off at, so I'm not going to do that. And so Deadpool Dracula's Gauntlet, Omnidog seal of approval.
That's the only part of the Dugan and Posehn omnibus that I have not read. So
that's
on that.
That's in the omnibus. In the poorly bound omnibus, might I add. Mine is poorly bound.
Yeah, I heard that.
Good.
Yours is in good shape?
Mine looks cool. Mine's good.
I hate you so much. Mine is falling apart. I'm just gonna have to glue it together myself.
I feel like I come up really lucky in comparison to a lot of other people with books and other things too, because I was discussing with my brother-in-law earlier that I had put a pre-order in for the 4 upcoming Marvel Select Guardians of the Galaxy figures, and he's like, "Oh, I don't trust ordering stuff online because they always come in with derpy eyes and stuff." And I was like, every single Select figure I've ordered from the Marvel shop has been like excellent. I haven't seen like anything bad on them. So hopefully that comes out the same way for the Guardians. But out of the 5 characters, only 2 of them have pupils, which would be Star-Lord and Gamora. And Star-Lord has an alternate head with the helmet. So really I'm only hoping that one of them doesn't have derpy eyes. So I think I'm going to be okay.
Derpy eyes.
Derpy eyes.
Do your Select figures suffer from derpy eyes?
My brother-in-law has some derpy figures, so I understand his concern. So I guess I'll go ahead and I'll do mine. I've chosen 4 books that I'm going to talk about rather quickly. Each of the 4 books that I chose have a very specifically different type of love, according to the 7 types of love in the Greek types of love. There's eros, philia, ludus, pragma, agape, philotia, and storge.
Oh,
And
you put a
so
lot of thought into this.
I've got for philia or philos, where you get stuff like Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. I chose to talk about Amazing X-Men: The Quest for Nightcrawler. So this is the final book of Jason Aaron's X-Men. This is the last thing that he wrote on the X-Men. And just like anything else that he's written, not only for the X-Men, but for most other books that he's done, he throughout his run, he was setting up little plot points, and he eventually, close them out. And this storyline had been teased since early in his Wolverine and the X-Men series, where you get the little Bamps, the little baby Nightcrawlers that would pop up. And so this storyline is the first time where they actually go into depth about what those things were. And eventually what they lead to is a way for the X-Men to get to heaven, basically. So you saw Wolverine go to hell earlier in Aaron's run, and now he's going to heaven to rescue his friend Nightcrawler. Now, of course, Wolverine and Nightcrawler have had a long-standing relationship ever since early in Claremont's run on the X-Men, where they've been known to be the best of friends. And back when Nightcrawler had died during the Second Coming story arc, Wolverine was one of the characters that really took it the hardest. And there was a really good issue of Jason Aaron's Weapon X series that showed Wolverine reacting to his friend's death. And so this issue, or this book right here, was really poignant in the fact that you already knew how good of a relationship they had, how great of friends they were, and you knew how much that Wolverine missed Nightcrawler, and then finally you get to see them reunited. And there's one specific page from one specific issue in this book that I'm going to share that I think really shows the importance of, and the strength of brotherly love, of the love between friends. And that is this page right here, when Nightcrawler and Wolverine finally get reunited, and they just, find each other in embrace and in happiness. And you can see how happy Nightcrawler is to finally see his friend. And something like that, it just makes me well up with happy tears, because we all, hopefully we all have had a friendship like that with someone who, means that much to you. And you can imagine, if you were separated from them and being able to see them again, if I was to be able to see my best friend again, if I was to be able to get him out of the afterlife, I couldn't imagine how happy I would be. So this one really, especially in retrospect, because I read this originally before he had passed, but in retrospect, it really stands out to me personally. The next book I grabbed, this one is going to be more, I would say, agape, which is love of the soul, and that is Spider-Man: The Death of the Stacys, specifically focusing on the death of Gwen Stacy. The storyline, everyone knows.
Gwen Stacy dies?
Yeah, everyone knows what happens. She dies.
Doesn't Captain Stacy get hit with a piano?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've read that one.
The Gwen gets a bank vault dropped on him.
Is that what it is? I thought it was a piano.
No, I don't remember.
I honestly, it's been so long. I've read the Gwen one more recently, but the Captain Stacy one is a little bit farther back in my head. But anyway, this book, not only is it important for what actually happened in this storyline, but for what this book really brought to the Spider-Man mythology going forward. You don't go by a year of Spider-Man comics without seeing Peter mention something about Gwen Stacy. And of course now, with Spider-Gwen being out there, she's at the forefront of everyone's mind. But books like Spider-Man Blue are those that really push it to the forefront how important this relationship was to Peter Parker. And while many of us might know Peter's love interest as having been Mary Jane Watson, given that they did wind up getting married and in some cases having children together, This relationship with Gwen Stacy was really the one that I feel was the deepest connection that Peter had to any of his girlfriends. Just a soul-bound connection between Pete and Gwen. So it's extremely sad to see whenever she does get killed off, and it was something that they did in the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, which was a trash film, and I'm not going to say anything more about it.
Didn't see it.
It was, of course.
Yeah, don't.
Don't see it.
And I've got 2 more books to go over real quick. Both of these are manga. They're both more comedic. The first one is Love Hina. As far as the types of love, this one is going to be Pragma, the long-lasting love. This story focuses on, it's been a while since I read it, so I have to look up the names of everyone. It focuses on Keitaro Hiroshima, who is a young student who's trying to get into Tokyo University. He's failed the entrance exams enough times that his parents have decided to stop supporting him. So he has to go live with his grandmother, but he finds that his grandmother's house has been turned into an all-women's apartment building. So he's now living with all these women, but he meets one girl, Naru, out of them, whom he believes is a girl that he had made a promise with when they were younger to both make it into Tokyo University. Naru is convinced that she is not that person. So comedy ensues, and it is it's been a really long time since I've read Love Hina, but it's a hilarious series, and the relationships in here are really interesting because, of course, like many of the harem type of series of manga, you have the guy who's really interested only in one girl out of the half dozen or whatever that are there, but everyone else is always coming on to him, so it results in really comedic scenes of him trying to explain away why someone else is trying to, get on him, so to say.
Okay, you got me sold on this one. I think we can figure this out. That'll make a great Manga Monday video. I'm going to order one.
Across 14 volumes, last published by Tokyo Pop. I don't know if they've been republished by anyone else since then, though, because Tokyo Pop is defunct at the moment. And the second volume of manga, another comedic series, would be Ranma 1/2. I want to say that this one is a mixture of ludus, which is playful love, and eros being basically sexual love. But Ranma, our title character here, along with his father Genma, the backstory is that they were at this hot springs, and they fell into these springs, and each of the springs has a different magical power to transform you into something. And so Ranma turned into one called the spring of the drowning woman, and his father fell into the spring of the drowning panda. And so now whenever they are hit with cold water, they transform into that thing. So Ranma, when he gets hit by cold water, transforms into a young woman. His father transforms into a giant panda. And there's also some other characters that transform into other things that are introduced throughout the series. Ranma, though, is betrothed to wed a young girl who is the daughter of his father Genma's friend Son Tendo, who runs a dojo, and so he's set to marry the daughter Akane, who hates men, and her 2 sisters said that she needs to be the one to get married to Ranma because he's only a guy half the time anyway. So it's a long-running series by the same creator that did Inuyasha, Rumiko Takahashi. And she does a great job of presenting a really comedic view at the sexual side of relationships, but also giving this really playful relationship between Ranma and Akane, because they really don't care for each other at all at the beginning of the series, and you wind up seeing throughout the 36 volumes of the run, they get closer together and they wind up actually falling for each other. So it's a really great series. They've been republishing it lately in these 2-in-1 volumes. So 36 divided by 2 is, 18? So it'll be collected across 18 volumes for anyone who wants to check it out soon. And that's all I've got today.
Okay. Yeah, you sold me on these next two ones. Those two mangas, man, they sound like they're gonna make great videos, and they sound genuinely interesting. So I'll probably put them on my next order from
I
Amazon.
recommend them. I really do. Have you ever seen Inuyasha before?
I have. I enjoyed Inuyasha.
So yeah, you might enjoy Ranma just because it is the same creator.
Yeah. I've
Um,
seen a couple of episodes of it.
I found that most of Rumiko Takahashi's work is really enjoyable. So I've been meaning to read through all of Inuyasha at some point as well. But yeah, I totally recommend both of them. And I have a lot of other love and comedy type series that I've read, but those are the two that I think stand out the most and the most individually out of all the other ones. But anyway, that's all I've got. So I guess at this point we move forward with the questions. At which point I turn it over to Luis because you were the one that got everything emailed to you.
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys. This was last minute for some of you guys, even though I was promoting it heavily throughout the week on the Omnibus Collector group. But some of you guys also, you messaged me through my YouTube channel. What I did was I asked you guys, what relationship questions do you have for us? And I have my lovely lady sitting next to me right here. Say hi, baby.
Hi.
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 You're looking good tonight.
Thank you. You can see a hand.
That's all we get.
She's a little gun shy. She doesn't want to be in front of the
I don't
camera.
trust the government.
She doesn't trust the government.
The government?
So she's going to be helping us answer questions. I figured it'd be good to have a female perspective on this as well. So yeah, we've got quite a few questions. You guys really went all out. So the first one I'm going to read is from Caldwell Comics. We'll start with a pretty light one. Is John Wick Chapter 2 an appropriate movie to see with my girlfriend on Valentine's Day? Please say yes. Also, do you have any tips on sneaking newly bought books past the old lady after you told her you wouldn't buy any for a little while?
I'll handle that one.
Go ahead. Hey, you finally got that Red Sonja statue from...
Yeah, you saw me post it?
Yeah, you got it out of the basement after like 2 months.
Yeah, I took it out of the box and put it together. I came up with a really good lie. Ooh, I can't say it. I came up with a really good lie.
So who wants to go first?
I haven't seen John Wick, so I can't answer that question.
You need to see John Wick.
I have seen John Wick, and I really loved the first one, but my wife refused to watch it because of a certain death that happens towards the beginning of the movie to a non-human character.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
And she was like, I can't, nope, bye. And she just didn't watch it with me. So I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess. And I've told her, you know, oh, John Wick and Lego Batman are coming out this weekend. I guess we're going to go have to do a double feature. Hasn't responded at all, not even with a She just kept quiet. So I'm probably going to wind up, because it does come out, it's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go watch it by myself in the morning because I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to go watch it tomorrow night. Can't wait. Tomorrow it's either John Wick, Lego Batman, or 50 Shades Darker. You guys make the smart choice. We know what it is. Come on.
The double feature of John Wick 2 and Lego Batman.
Yeah, come on. It's John Wick 2 and Lego Batman, or
in that order.
A terrible BDSM story. You make the choice. Personally, what do you think?
I love John Wick. So
Yeah.
I would always choose. On Valentine's Day, I saw Die Hard. So
And
when it came out, it was great.
This is why I love her.
I can see that. Very nice.
I love action movies.
Just so she knows, I can see part of her face right now. So she needs. Okay, yeah, there, right there. I can just see her.
The government can see it too.
The government can see just your hair. Just so you know, the government listens in on the fillings in my mouth too. So.
Where's your tinfoil hat, Jess?
Yeah, I need it. What was the second question again? How do you sneak?
Yeah, how do you sneak past like your loved ones with books and stuff like that?
I'm very experienced at that. The key is that your wife needs to work and you need to time it so that you do an IST order FedExed so that it comes before the weekend. Because Books delivered on Saturday are death. I can assure you of that. So place your IST order on like a Thursday, ask for it FedExed, and you'll get it on a Monday, and you work it out so that you're at home. You can unbox them, put them on your shelf. As far as she knows, they've always been there. Don't do what I did and get a big stack of books. This was the probationary pie story, where I got a big stack of books, left them sitting on the counter, ate a piece of pie on a Saturday, and promptly fell asleep in the morning. I woke up to a very unhappy woman who said, "You've obviously gone over your budget. You are on probation for 2 months." And I couldn't buy a book for 2 months. And it's been called, it was coconut cream pie, but it's now called probation pie because I ate it on a Saturday morning and promptly took a nap. Saturday book delivery is death. Stay away from it.
It's good advice. That's actually good advice. Well, I'm fortunate enough that she understands the nature of what I do as like a second job, so I can get away with ordering stuff.
Yeah, you have to order stuff because you've got an audience that you've got to keep happy.
Yeah, as long as it's not like where I don't show up with a pallet to the house. Yeah, we've seen some pictures online.
Yeah, the biggest I had was 2 30-pound boxes showed up at the same time.
Wow.
And I was living in an apartment, and it was our first apartment when we didn't have any money. And I had money in my PayPal, and I used all of that to buy like a couple months worth of really big books.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, and I had to walk from the mail center at the apartment all the way to the other side of the complex with 60 pounds of books and sneak them in while she was sleeping. I got caught.
Don't say. You don't say.
I got in trouble, but that's the only time I've ever gotten in trouble for books that I've ordered. Since then, I've been really on top of my budget, and the only advice I could give is if you wanted to get away with anything was do something where people will send you gifts, and people have sent you gifts. And then when you get a package and she's like, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" You're like, "Oh, those people must be sending me gifts."
That's a good point. I was gonna use the John Hahn protocol. John Hahn invented this protocol where he pretended that 12 guys got together, pitched in money, and bought him a statue. And so it's called the Hahn protocol. I was gonna use that on Red Sonja, but I decided that I sold like 30 boxes of book to my local comic shop, 30 boxes of books. And I said he threw the statue in as a prize for all the books that I gave him. So that was how I snuck that one in. And that counts as the evil Jess story of the week.
My best advice, start a YouTube channel and try to make money off of it. Then you have an excuse. Hey, I can now write all this stuff off on my taxes, so yeah.
Speaking of that stuff, I actually started a Patreon the other day, and I just haven't touched it.
That sounds like you somehow.
Yeah, I can now write everything off on my taxes. So go.
No, Megan just said that she's watching.
Uh-oh.
I didn't say anything that I did.
Your wife is watching.
I didn't spoil any secrets. I told you I said I've never done that. I've never done that. I was giving that advice to other people to do, but I've never done that.
Your wife just called you an asshat in the chat, bud.
That's nothing new. She calls me asshat all the time. Probation pizza.
Probation pizza.
Well, I'm done for the month. I've already finished spending my money this month. So yeah, I'm on probation until next month.
This is the best stream yet.
So we're just going to do a quick, Omar from the Omnibros Collectors Facebook group. He doesn't have a question, but he sent us a funny story, and I thought it was pretty cool. Years ago, my girlfriend and I were having a party at our apartment. We were running low on beer, and we decided to go out and get some more. She drove because I was pretty hammered at the time. Responsible. We get to the liquor store, and I walk in while she stays warm in the car. It was pretty cold out. About 5 minutes later, I come running out, waving my arms, yelling, "Go, go, go, go." And she gets in the car and she literally takes the fuck off Too Fast, Too Furious style. Not sure why the hell I went with that one, but anyway. Doesn't ask me any questions. She takes off and we go to the light about a mile away. So I tell her I just forgot my wallet and she replies, "Oh God, I thought you touched someone or did something stupid because you're drunk." We went back to the liquor store and got the beer. This was the defining moment for me. I realized then and there I wanted to marry this woman. Because any woman that has your back like that without asking a question is worth locking down. 12 years later, we are married and have 2 wonderful kids, and she still puts up with my stupid hijinks. So I let that slide, and she doesn't like. So I let it slide that she doesn't like Starman. It's a good story. I like that one.
That is. They stole beer together.
Wyatt Stonehouse asks, "Is it okay to have a checklist for what you want in a partner?" Short story. My favorite date was over video chat while we watched My Neighbor Totoro together for Valentine's Day. It was a long-distance relationship, not together anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't have since I have the life experience here, I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you have a checklist. I think it needs to be more organic than that. When you meet somebody, you'll feel it immediately. But if you start checking things off like doesn't like pizza, prefers donuts for breakfast, doesn't like comic books, you're going to run into nothing but trouble there. The main thing is you actually organically get along and are attracted together and find humor in the same things. That's one of the main things. You got to find humor in the same things. That's important in a relationship. Cry at the same movies. You organically fit together. If you have a checklist, you're going to end up alone. So I would not do that.
I can agree with that. I think nobody's going to live up to every single thing on your checklist or every single standard. You have to realize that that person is their own person. They have their feelings, their emotions. They're not just an item that you could check things off of. When you start doing that, that's when you start running into a lot of trouble. That's when you start putting your preconceived notion on what a perfect person is onto that person, and they can never live up to that expectation.
I think that the most important thing is not to like the same things, but to hate the same things. Or to loathe the same things. Like if you can, it's one thing if you can be like, "Oh man, I really like that movie," and then she's like, "Yeah, I fucking love that movie," or like, Megan's sitting there getting mad at Raleigh for bad-mouthing Friends, and we both like Friends, and that's cool. Like we both watch the same TV shows. All we do when we're together is watch the same TV shows. But it's better when you sit there and you're like, "Fuck that guy," and then she's like, "Yeah, fuck that guy." It's great.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. There's a lot of bonding over things you hate.
Anything that?
Like mushrooms.
Oh, I love
mushrooms.
You mean like psilocybin shrooms or shrooms on your burger?
Like mushroom on pizza.
Oh. Okay.
But she hates pineapples on pizza, and I'm fine with that.
I don't know about that. It's fine to have a deal breaker?
Yeah, it's fine to have a deal breaker, but not a checklist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Let's see. We
The
got
deal breaker for me is, if the girl turns out to be a dude, that's kind of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, that does it for me too, man.
When you get catfished.
Yeah.
That's happened?
Yeah.
Really?
On my Tinder dates, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Who's it happened to?
Her. It's happened to her a few times before she met me. Hey, her last date before dating me didn't want to finish the date because he bought a Transformer that morning.
He bought a bought a Transformer.
You want to tell it real quick?
Were they 12 years old?
Actually, no, he was 31, and my issue was that he told me he couldn't finish the date because of that. If he wouldn't have told me that, I would have never known. And it didn't work out. So.
So he set the bar really low for me.
Yeah, no kidding. All you had to do was not put a transformer together, and you made it. Holy criminy!
This is my podcast now.
It's been taken over. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna grab a second here, but I figured since she was already watching.
Right. So I completely forgot where we were at on the questions.
Checklist was the
Oh yeah,
last
we
thing.
just finished checklist. Okay, next question. Let's see. That's good for a good one.
Look at me.
Okay, here we go. Hey, what is up, Lewis and Omnibros? This is Jack of all trade paperbacks. Love the stream and everything you guys do. Keep it up. My question is, what should I do if I have been in love with my best friend for the past 2 years?
Oh.
I mark this as okay to read on the stream from Jack. P.S. If you don't mind shouting out my channel, that would be great. So yeah, his channel is Jack from All Trades Paperback, All Trade Paperbacks. So check him out. That is actually one of the harder questions that
Ooh, that's a toughie.
you definitely are risking a friendship there.
I say go.
Yeah.
I don't know. My best advice is to be honest. I mean, the worst that could happen is that she doesn't reciprocate the feelings, and you may lose a friend, but I mean, it could be your future wife. You know, you never know until you take the risk.
It's his best friend, though. He doesn't want to lose his best friend. This is a tricky one. I'd need to know a little bit more.
I dated my best friend. I've known him since kindergarten, basically. And we dated in high school, and we both agreed before we had started everything that we wouldn't allow it to affect our friendship. And it didn't work out. He broke up with me because I believe in aliens.
Oh.
And we're still friends.
She's had some interesting relationships.
Aliens and Transformers.
I know.
And that's the bottom of the list.
Yeah, it's definitely because, I mean, Megan wasn't my first girlfriend. I had crushes on girls in high school and stuff. And I, there was a couple of girls that I was really close friends with them, and I would tell them, that I had feelings for them. And one time that went okay. The other times it did not. And the times it did not, one time I was able to remain friends with them. It was a little bit awkward for me mostly because those feelings don't go away immediately. But the other time it just like cut the friendship immediately. And I didn't really talk to that person for another year or something. But it's definitely a tricky situation. But I have to say, like, it might be an important friendship to you, but think about, why is that person your best friend? Is she your best friend because you have feelings for her? And if that's true, then you're never going to feel satisfied without knowing if something could happen or not. So I would recommend, at the best time, don't just spring it out of nowhere. Like, bring it up and maybe ask her out, and hopefully it works out for the best. If it doesn't work out for the best, then don't linger on it. Just know that maybe it wasn't meant to happen.
Also, on a side note, a lot of people think girls can't get friend zoned, but it happens. So maybe they're in the situation where they both think they're friend zoned, which has happened to me. And well, anyways, the relationship didn't work out, obviously. But yeah, once like I stepped up and I told my feelings to that person, he was like, "Oh, I feel the same way about you." And it's like, for 2 years we didn't even know. So that could be a situation as well.
That's true.
True.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the thing is, you never know until you try. But at the same time, I get why he's a little apprehensive, because he does risk ruining a very close friendship.
Right.
So what's our advice? Go for it?
I think
I say go for it.
But yeah.
I think go for it, but at the best time.
I don't know. I mean, you and I took a really big... Riley told me he loved me. Like, I had a boyfriend when he told me he loved me. And
way to go, Romeo.
Wow.
I think, if he hadn't have said that, we probably wouldn't be here today together.
And we took small steps. Like it was, I told you how I felt, and then you told me how you
Small
felt.
steps. I love you.
And then after that admission,
Jeez, man.
I love you. My name is Riley.
Yeah.
well, after that, like it was kind of a messy little situation where you were still with him, and then he was absent, and then finally, like you guys broke it off because he was like texted you, "Hey."
Yeah, he broke up with me over text, but to be fair, I mean, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, 'cause, years later, here we are.
So I don't know. I say
Doing
go
pretty
for
good.
it.
Okay, I will go with the crowd and say go for it.
Yeah,
And keep us posted.
yeah.
Go for it and let us know how it turns out.
Yeah, please message me and let me know. I'll share it with the people.
Don't pull a Riley and go from 0 to I love you.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, that's true.
This next one is from Henke. Hey, Omnibros. I'm a senior in college, 20 years old, and I live in Belgium. And I'm noticing more and more that so many of my male and female friends are either in a serious relationship or are looking for something serious, living together, kids, etc. I'm completely different than them, it seems. What I'd rather do is just experiment as much as I want and have fun while I'm in my 20s. I can't see myself getting into something serious within the next 5 years or so. My question is, why do so many people want to settle with one person so early in their lives? Won't they miss out on so many experiences at the cost of being in a committed relationship? I know it's a long question, but I'm genuinely baffled by this.
Different strokes for different folks.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different. A lot of my friends got married before I did. I was one of the latter third of my college friends to get married. It just took me a while to get all the other gals out of my system and all my youthful indiscretions and things. And when I met the right person, boom, it just happened. So I think that your friends, I don't know if they're following a trend. They just might feel they have, they might just feel they've met the right person and it's time to settle down. I think it sounds like you might feel left out a little bit because you're not finding something, and I certainly wouldn't rush it if I were you. I would be content to follow your own path and just be happy for those that have found their sort of organic loves. But that's from life experience, man. That's really more of a question for millennial men like you guys.
Well, I mean, I'm 27 going on 28, and I've definitely had that experience where my early 20s, I see all my friends, they're leaving, they're done with high school, they're finishing up college, and they're all getting married and stuff like that. And I'm like, but it's a bit soon. Like, I don't feel like I was ready. And now that I'm starting to get up in my upper 20s and I'm a few just short years away from 30, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm starting to look at things a little bit differently. It just takes time. Everybody is different. Everybody matures and everybody comes into their own when they're ready to settle down type of mindset.
I know, like, we're the inverse of that. Like, I was 20 when we got married, and so I had a lot of people in my life kind of give me the, oh, you're so young, and there's so many people out there. How do you know he's the one for you? But
How do you know he is the one for you?
Look at him. He's so cute.
I've got horrendous glasses.
Yeah, his glasses.
I love those glasses.
His glasses are ugly as sin.
I've had 3 people compliment me on my glasses.
Yeah, but my opinion is that of 1,000.
Oh dear.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I look forward to coming home and spending time with my husband and being with him. And he loves me. I love him. He treats me phenomenally. And we have a really good relationship. And, I was one of those people on the other side. Like, I didn't want to go out and party in my 20s. We both are just kind of old souls,
Same here.
So I knew from a pretty young age, I wanted to get married and I wanted to have a career and I wanted to start a family and get a house. And so everything that I worked for in high school and college was to do, exactly what I have today. So like y'all said, just different strokes for different folks. This is what we wanted, and I couldn't imagine. I have friends who are single, and it's a jungle out there. It sounds terrible. Like, I would hate to date people. And I just feel very lucky and very blessed that, God put Riley and I in each other's lives as early as he did, because that just gives me more time to spend with him.
I think personally part of it could be also if you do find that right person, that's when your opinion will all of a sudden turn a 180. Like right now, you're looking for just to experiment and do things and date different people. But what if, you do find that person while you're going around and dating and you decide like, okay, I think now that I found this person, it seems like this is the one. I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. And then you settle down. So like you're not, just because you're not necessarily in that mindset now doesn't mean you won't reach that mindset later. But if you never do, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, because everyone's different. Everyone emotionally is very different. It doesn't make one of us better or more correct than the other.
Good talk. I know we can relate on the sense that we're definitely, both of us are old souls, and it's really hard to find somebody that has that mindset, especially if you're in your 20s, especially nowadays, because there's still that party mindset that I want to go. And I've never really been a part of that group. I've never really found the appeal in all of that stuff. It's just not my bag. In fact, the last girl that I dated before her, it was just a nightmare show. It was terrible. We were completely opposites. And, they say the opposites attract, but there has to be a certain level of agreement and a certain level of understanding and communication, and there has to be a certain level where you fall in line with that person. And she was a complete party person. Wasn't my scene, and that's one of the big dividing factors, but it worked out in the end.
I think it's just hard to be social for some people. The one time that we both forced each other to be social, we happened to both be at a party together, and ever since then we basically started talking.
Mm-hmm. She blew me off, actually.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Riley proposed to me like a month after dating, and I was like, "No, I'm never gonna marry you."
Oh gosh, she completely.
I was 16.
Well, yeah, I would have probably done the same thing.
But she completely blew me off. I set up a date, and then she never got back to me. And then like a month later, she hits me up.
It was
and then
not a month.
It was a month.
Oh
it was
God.
A month later. Like out of nowhere, she hits me up and she's like, "Hey, I know we haven't talked in a while. How's everything?" And then we set up a date for Disney because it was around her birthday, and we went to Disney that day.
That's cool.
Yeah, our first kiss was in front of the Kermit the Frog ride.
Nice.
Wasn't
This
On my second date, I asked my girlfriend at the time, "Do you believe in love at first sight?" Because I fell in love with her as soon as I saw her.
Aw.
And she didn't return my calls for like 2 weeks after that. I freaked her out, but she ended up marrying me. But yeah, I fell in love with her as soon as I saw her.
Awesome, Jess.
And now I'm sneaking statues in under my sweater.
How long have you and your wife been together, Jess?
How long have we been together? This year will be our 30th year together.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations.
That's older than you guys are.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met in 1987.
Wow.
Summer of 1987.
If your next one is by Midworld Reviews. By the way, guys, I got a lot more messages, so we probably won't be able to get to all of them, but we'll try. If your girlfriend is against your comic habit for whatever reason, do you leave her or sacrifice the thing you love? Add-ons to the question, because it's kind of vague. Here are some variables. You spend responsibly, meaning you're not in debt because of the hobby. You save money for vacations and dates and stuff. The comments don't take up too much space. The relationship is pretty steady. What do you do? Is it a question of which you love more? Is it a question of growing up and being responsible? Or is she controlling and not the right one for you?
I would ask then what the problem is, because I know, like, you know, being a wife of a comic collector, if you hit all those points, like if you're responsible, not taking up a lot of room, all of everything he said, then I don't think
there shouldn't be an issue.
There's no issue.
Because like I mean, I've had issues in the past sticking to budgetary restrictions, but now I've hit that equilibrium. And we had issues when we were in apartments with my books taking up space because they didn't have their own place to be. They were out in the living room, and she didn't want that because she wants the living room to be decorated to be homey. And comic books, for the majority of people, not us, are not exactly homey. So now that I have been sticking to my budget each month, which is a pretty generous budget, and then B, I have my own room to keep all my stuff so it's not scattered around the house. She really hasn't had any issue with it at all.
Yeah, so I think that then that just becomes a character flaw for her, and maybe, yeah, she's just controlling, because for whatever other reason I couldn't imagine, unless she just hates comics for some odd reason, but then that's just, yeah, I don't see an issue.
Maybe she just thinks that comics are immature and that she doesn't date someone who's reading comics because she thinks that it's something for kids.
I think that's exactly it. I don't think she understands comics and what they're capable of and how much they've changed. And I think she needs to be educated possibly on what comic books really are. I think she, as Riley said, thinks that they're an immature kid thing to have and sees it as a character flaw in the guy. And I would say, since it's his passion, you hate to see any passion like that squelched, because I mean, it's my passion too, and I would hate to see it squelched. But it sounds like she may need a little education on it just so she can understand it better, and then maybe she wouldn't have such a dislike for it.
Because if you do, as you said, squelch that passion, like hold back that hobby, and if you do decide, I'm okay, I'll stop collecting, I'll stop buying comics for you. Yeah, there'll be a resentment, and eventually it'll explode, and it will be an issue.
Because you're not letting that person be who they are. And I've talked to, I have a bunch of girlfriends, and when I talk about it, I'm like, I'm so happy that this is what he enjoys, because there are so many people out there who have really terrible hobbies of like gambling or porn or drugs or guns or anything. I'm like, I'm so happy that, I can just give him a video game or give him a book and he'll preoccupy himself for hours. I'm like, that's what he
sound like a kindergartner.
There's nothing wrong with drugs as a hobby. Just so you know.
I mean, irresponsible. I think, if you're destroying relationships, it's definitely a problem. But yeah, I'm happy that this is what he likes, and I don't have to ever worry about him spending a lot of money going behind my back or doing all these really shady things. So
picking out his own glasses.
Yeah.
They're not cute, guys.
I like the glasses.
I totally dig them.
Both of them like it, and one of the people in the chat said that her husband wanted to know what brand they were so he could order them himself.
I want a pair myself.
They're Lacoste.
Okay, she likes them.
Awesome. All of us should get them.
If you guys only understood, because I've been with Riley for like 8 years, like of how many opinions I've had from fashion choices I've made. This is like the first time I've ever been able to be like, I don't like that.
But it wasn't that you didn't just say like, I don't like that, because you were like, yeah, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, you don't like it. And you're like, no, they're hideous. They're horrendous. Like, I knew you didn't like them, and I would have been fine with it. I've been like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I like them. They did exactly what I want them to do. I just wanted some color. It's something different.
I feel very much. I have a lot of opinions.
Perhaps they'll grow on you.
Maybe. I'm sure by, a couple of weeks I'll just be blind to it.
Now everything I see is framed by like teal.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Here's another one. Let's do Super Sably. I have a crush on a girl I met about 2 weeks ago, but I can't tell whether or not she reciprocates my feelings. Should I just ask her out to see if she'll say yes? I say yeah. Just ask her out, see what happens.
Honesty is the best policy.
And at that point, since it's still early, you're only 2 weeks into knowing this person. You're not in that same situation as the previous person who was like, "This is my best friend." There's not as much harm that could come. Like, you're not sacrificing much of a friendship. So yeah, I would recommend just asking them out.
Yeah, and make sure it's like asking them to coffee or something. Don't make it dinner and dancing. Then she'll be overwhelmed.
Nick says, ask her to marry you.
Yeah.
Tell her you love her.
I love you. Marry me.
By the way, dancing is the biggest lie men tell to women in the world, because if you could chart it, it'd be because women love to dance. And when you're dating, it's like the chart is up here, dancing, 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 get married, boom. Dancing goes down to here. You never go out dancing again. And your wife resents you for the rest of your life. That's how you hook a chick, but that may not be how you keep a chick.
I hear mom complain about dancing all the time with my father. They never go dancing anymore.
Your dad can dance, though.
He can dance, doesn't mean he wants
Oh, I got pretty lucky. Riley will dance with me.
No, that's good.
I'll also do karaoke with you if you get enough whiskey in me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was doing karaoke when he was on our show a month ago when he had whiskey in him. It sounded like karaoke.
Just a little bit.
Oh my God, what happens in this room when I'm not around you guys?
I think you were around.
She was in the other room.
That's sneaky.
It wasn't much. It wasn't like I
It was just half a bottle of Knob Creek. It wasn't that big a deal.
handle.
Let me paint a picture why I raise an eyebrow. Riley is not a drinker, like, ever. And I'm not
She's just shattering the illusion.
I'm not a heavy drinker. Like, I'll probably maybe like once a month I'll drink, and get like purposefully drunk. So out of the two of us, I'm definitely the drinker. And I've always tried to have him drink with me, but he'll never do it. We got married, and literally the first weekend I was out of town and left him alone, he goes and gets fucking shit-faced without me. And, like, I get texts from him, like, I'm throwing up, I haven't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, where was I? I was so pissed. So every time he drinks without me, I'm like, what the hell, bro? What is it about me that you don't want to drink?
You want to drink right now? I don't work tomorrow.
We can do that.
Yeah,
Nice.
both of you go. Yeah, get a snootful right now. That's a great idea.
You were an instigator, man.
I'll get the whiskey. He gets the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good drunk story. But the first time I ever saw her get drunk, we went down to St. Augustine.
The open one.
We went down to St. Augustine for St. Patrick's Day. And she got blitzed. I was sober. But she's running down the streets of St. Augustine going, "It smells like cum!" Stumbling into this place and falling on the floor. And I'm running behind her going, baby, shh, be quiet. Meanwhile, people all around us are going crazy and looking at her and I'm just like, babe, let's just pull you over here to the corner real quick. "It smells like cum!"
What?
Last year we went to New Orleans for my birthday, and I got pretty drunk. I mean, our birthday, our birthday's 11 days apart. And walking home from Bourbon to like our Airbnb, I learned a tip. I have a really big butt. And so I would like slap the floor and like shake my ass in the middle of a street. And I would stop because there was like 5 of us, and like the whole group would stop because it'd be like a 30-second motion. And he was so upset. He's like, "Why are you doing this?" Because I would just slap the ground, shake my butt, and cause a scene, like literally every 2 minutes. Like I'd forget that I do it, and then I would like twerk against a wall. But whatever.
Another question. When did you first introduce your wives to your collection, and how did they take it? When I moved out. When I moved out of my parents' house. And she walked in.
I've had a collection, so I've always known, or as long as I've known him.
Wait, what was the question?
When did you introduce your wife to your collection? What was her reaction?
Oh, like back when we were like, even before we were dating, we would like do video chats and stuff. Pretty sure my collection was in the background.
Yeah.
In my bedroom.
I was just like, whoa, that's a lot of books. But I have a brother who's also into comics, so it wasn't like a foreign idea to me.
Yeah, how did you take it because you found out about it on moving day. When we moved in and she saw all these boxes full of comics.
Well, don't even get me started on when, oh my God. Every time we move, there's like 4 boxes labeled Megan, and then like 70 boxes labeled comic books.
Yeah, we just went through that.
Every time we move, I'm like, I'm so sorry to the movers because like their books are heavy. And the last time we moved, like the movers ended up going like 3 hours because they didn't anticipate how long it would take them to pack all this stuff up. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I offered to buy them lunch, but they were like, no, it's fine. It's whatever. They were just impressed. As a Ron Burgundy, like, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Here's a little bit of a risque one. Not too bad. Let me know when you guys want to stop. We're running out of questions and we got a few left. What are some great comic book characters to cosplay / roleplay in the bedroom?
Daredevil.
Whoa.
God damn.
Not even a thought.
God. He's blind, though.
That's fine. He's not really blind. He's a blind man that can see.
I like her style.
Daredevil.
I think we told comic book people.
No.
That's like one area we haven't done, surprisingly.
Cosplay? Are you asking? Is it asking if if I want my wife to dress up? Wait, what's the question?
What is it? Fantasies, Jess.
What are some great comic book characters to cosplay / roleplay in the bedroom? Wonder Woman's good.
Yeah, let's see. I got all kinds of chicks behind me.
Nothing from experience?
Swamp Thing?
Tell us.
Swamp Thing. Unless there's a super hero that dresses up in lingerie and high heels, I don't have anything. We're
sexy.
Yeah, although how about Emma Frost? She dresses pretty sexy. You can cosplay as Emma Frost. I dig her. Maybe a Power Girl with that the big window of boobs. That'd be a good cosplay.
No.
But no, my wife's never asked me to dress up as Iron Man, although she calls me Iron Man.
Hey.
This guy had like 4 questions. Let's see what else you got. No, we can't relate to pretty much any of these other ones. What are some non-cliche ways to propose nowadays?
Oh, that's a good one. Riley has a great one.
Yeah, you have a great one.
Well, the way that I proposed, and it disappointed Megan because she told me it was not for her, it was for me.
Oh, I thought it sounded so great.
I bought a copy of Pokemon Blue because I lost my original one on a plane. And I caught 6 Pokemon and named them Megan, Will You Marry Me? And then I got down on my knee and opened my Game Boy, and it said that on there. And that was only part of it. Like, I also had the whole, I had the champagne and the flowers and music playing and a spotlight and all that stuff. So I did the normal thing. I just also did the Pokemon thing.
That Game Boy thing sounds awesome. I'd marry you if you asked me that way.
Thanks, Jess.
Okay. I had never played Pokemon before.
I haven't played it either, but it still sounds really creative.
I can understand where she's coming from then.
Yeah, like my big nerdy vice is definitely Harry Potter. And also, I had to ask you, or I had to tell you to get down on one knee, because he was like standing there. I'm like, aren't you going to get down on one knee? And he was like, yeah.
Oh, she gave me a list of how I'm supposed to do it.
I inherited my mom's diamonds and her wedding rings at a young age. I inherited them. So I had them designed into a special engagement wedding ring. Let's see, we met in 87, and in December of 88, on the day before Christmas Eve, she had been wanting a jewelry box. So I put the diamond ring in the jewelry box and wrapped up the jewelry box. And I gave her the jewelry box, and I gave her the gift, and I'm sort of on the couch, and I get down on one knee, and she opens it up and goes, "Oh, cool, a jewelry box." And then she opened it up and saw the ring, and I said, "I think it's time we got married." And she agreed.
What a boss.
Oh, man. Our story is, like, so unromantic. We were laying in bed one day. Like, this is before he, like, actually proposed. And he was like, we should get married. And at this point, I think we had been together like 3 weeks. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no, we should do it like now. And I was like, okay. So we literally like opened up Zales and like, 19 and 22 years old. I'm like selling blood in college to make money for groceries. Like, broke as shit. And we opened up Zales, went to the clearance tab, and found like the cheapest ring that was pretty, and that's my wedding ring I have today.
Did you really sell blood in college, or are you making that up?
Oh, I'm 100%
True
serious.
story.
Same.
Jiminy
Plasma.
crickets.
You can sell plasma, and they give you like a $50 gift card.
Yep, that's exactly what I did, and that's how I had groceries.
Mm-hmm. I've done it. I've had to do it.
Wow.
And I think that about does it as far as questions that we got. I know we're running a little bit late, so I don't know if you guys want to take a few questions from the chat, or if you want to call it a night. It's fine with me either way. It's up to you guys.
I've enjoyed talking to your significant others.
Cosplay as Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, I don't have the boobs for that.
She's just drawn that way.
Somebody said cosplay as Luke Cage.
Organize a flash mob. Women love flash mobs.
No, I think if I told Riley how to do it again, it'd probably be because it was just him and I. I think I'd want my family there.
Jay's proposal story. I proposed at the beach. Told my wife I was drawing a big veiny beach penis like I do every year at the beach. Told her to close her eyes, and I had written, "Will you marry me?" in the sand. Definitely not a veiny beach penis.
Veiny beach penis. That's going to be the name of my next rock group.
Alfred Benny.
It's an REO Speedwagon cover band.
Yeah.
Yes, dresses up as Alfred Pennyworth.
I can put on a tux.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
we missed some good comments here.
Hanky, yeah, I do believe in love at first sight. That's what I told my wife when second date. I asked her if she believed in love at first sight. And that's when she didn't call me for 2 weeks.
Oh, someone asked. No, this is Pinot. I made it myself. There's a place here in Austin where you can make your own wine.
You make your own wine?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
You make so you're a Pinot gal? You like Pinot Grigio?
No, this is Pinot
Noir.
Oh, Pinot Noir.
Yeah. I do like reds. It was a team outing. My go-to is Merlot, but I was outnumbered, so we did a Pinot Noir, which is just fine. Not my first choice, and it's really good. And so, yeah, we took several bottles home.
What are you drinking, Rye Bread?
Knob Creek.
There it is.
Hey, you guys are lucky. You live in apparently the happiest city in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait to visit there.
I'm both annoyed and happy about that because
You guys are gonna get a lot of people trying to move in.
well, there's already been like when I first moved here. I've been here about 6 years. When I first moved here, I lived off the lake in a 4-2, and I paid about $250 a month.
God.
Right now, an apartment that same area, starting for a studio, is $2,000.
Whoa.
Wow, for a studio?
Great studio. Before we bought the house, I thought about like, oh, maybe instead of doing a mortgage for a year, we live like, off the lake or downtown. But it's like between $1,800 to $2,200, depending how far you are from downtown, for a 1-bedroom apartment. And I was like, absolutely not. That's more than our mortgage. So it's nice now that we have a house, but traffic sucks. Gentrification is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of Californians coming and just buying houses and flipping them and selling them, or it's really sad. This city has definitely changed in the 6 years I've been here. There's what are they called? The scaffoldings. There's tons of scaffold.
High rises.
Like when you build a high rise, that like thing.
The awning. What are you talking about?
Like that big metal thing. It's like almost like a crane, but it's like,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh. I know what you're talking about. It
Crane?
sticks out.
I don't know, but there's so many of those downtown because high rises are popping up left and right. Like the city never planned to experience this kind of population growth. There's like one interstate that runs through the city, so it's a pain in the ass. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I'm a homeowner. My home values are gonna go. I mean, projected our zip code is going up 50% in the next 10 years. But
You guys are gonna make good on that house.
it's hard.
Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely make a return on this investment.
Absolutely.
There was a question earlier from Gabe. He was asking if we have planned to name any of our children after comic book characters.
Not comic book characters. Video game character.
I choose Ezio.
She's a huge Assassin's Creed fan.
Yes.
If I proposed naming a child after a comic book character, I would never even get a chance to make that child. That,
I
that
tried.
would be the biggest buzzkill for my wife. I wanted to name our dog Crypto, and I didn't even get that. So
You're gonna get a fish? Would she let you name a fish?
there's no way I could name a kid Clark Kent Bragg or something. There's just no way.
Oh, that sounds like a badass name, though.
I did get Chewie because Chewie is Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
got that, and then I've pitched so many comic book names like Dick Grayson Moore, Tim Drake Moore,
Bruce Banner Moore.
Drake Grayson Moore, yeah, Bruce Banner Moore. I've tried so many, and she just nixes them all. And especially like if she knows it's a comic book character, I've tried to sneak some of them in, and she's like, "Still,
That's
no,
so
I don't
not
like
true.
it." And so we finally, because she would always say to me, her lists of names. She's like, "What names do you like?" And I'm like, "I don't know. And then a couple weeks ago, I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna like find a bunch of names, and I'm gonna give her a bunch of them that I like that maybe do or do not have anything to do with comics. Doesn't matter, and we're gonna figure it out." So we chose just a week ago or so now a name for one boy and one girl. For the boy, Joaquin, like Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
And then for the girl, Lana, like Danger Zone.
Or Lana Lang. I'm not stupid, so I don't know what he's saying. Like he mixes every comic book character name. That's not true.
Well,
when you say Bruce Banner Moore, yes, I will
didn't
not
say
go
Lana
for that.
like Lana Lang because when I texted you the name Lana, I said Lana, 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 and then you were like, "I like Lana."
I do.
I like Ra's al Ghul more.
I like Ra's al Ghul more. Yeah, we named our cat Arya after Arya from Game of Thrones.
That's cool. That's definitely one of my dog names.
Arya.
Yeah, if we get a dog. The Hulk more.
We never know where she is around the house. So.
More. THM.
Yeah.
Satan's sodomy, baby.
Chalupa Batman.
Huh?
In the league, right?
Yeah.
Like Ursula.
Yeah.
Christopher something is what they wound up calling him.
Says she likes Urza from Fairy Tale. What did somebody ask?
I think you guys are gonna make love after this show. Zurinar.
Zurinar Moore. Yes.
Quote, off to school, animal, vegetable, mineral man. Stop stalling.
Oh, you want me to go get my wife? Somebody wants me to get my wife?
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
I think my wife's upstairs in bed in her pajamas.
I've got like total baby brain because, you know, we're definitely like going to be trying within the next year or two. And I read on Pinterest, like a good exercise is to find out if, you know, if you both like that baby name is to like go in your backyard and yell like, hey, so-and-so, come inside. It's time for dinner.
Huh.
Hey, Lana. Lana. Lana.
Zurinar, come to dinner.
I feel like you have to say that with a British accent. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Zurinar.
yeah.
Why would that be British?
Like, say it with the British, I don't know, because it sounds ugly.
Zurinar.
Yeah.
Batmite Moore.
Batmite.
We're getting Greg Landmore, Scott Lobdell Moore,
Deadpool Moore.
Mordo Moore,
Mordo Moore could work. Mordor, yeah.
Mortimer,
Rob Liefeld Moore.
Rob Liefeld Moore.
You have to practice yelling at him. That's the only way you know.
I've always thought of Tamriel.
I mean, yeah, pets and babies are both playing in the backyard. So I mean, I'm
Sure.
the kids.
How about Holly? Holly Moore.
Ways Deadpool Moore.
Morbius Moore, Batmore. Wow, you guys are going in on Riley.
It's all about my kids, apparently.
That's because your last name is way too long, Luis. Lucy
Yeah.
Carrero Rodriguez.
Yes, it's ridiculous. It's way too long.
You need to change it to like Jones or something. I mean, how are you going to try out names with that long name?
You know what? It's a pain because I'm from Puerto Rico,
I don't want
and
to get
Jar Jar Binks.
What's that now?
Jar Jar Binks Moore.
oh god, if you want to hate your child, name him that.
So what's going on with your last name? Why can't you shorten it to Smith or Jones
I'm
or
from
something?
Puerto Rico, and the way we do birth certificates in Puerto Rico, it's the mother's last name is put at the end of the father's last name.
Oh, so you've got both their last names.
Well, I have both their last names on my birth certificate, and all my legal documents have that.
Mm.
My driver's license, everything has that. So it's a giant pain.
So if you guys get married and you decide to hyphenate your kid's name, if your gal wants her name in there, it's going to be her name and your last name.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
What do you mean good luck?
It's going to be a long name.
That is going to be a long
It'll be
name.
the whole traditional Hispanic name. That everybody-
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
So
God,
it'll be
yeah.
okay.
It'll be
My Lord, yeah.
I wanted a Hispanic name or a biblical name, and I got both.
Joaquin and Lana.
Well, Joaquin. Lana will work on that.
Well, Joaquin is like a bastardization of a biblical name because it was
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Alan Moore.
Yeah, and I pitched Alan Moore. I actually pitched.
Alan is the name of like a 40-year-old sales executive who
Alan
has
is the
like
name of a wizard,
a Honda and a
Chaos Wizard. It's true.
mortgage.
and eventually he will. I also pitched Alan Scott Moore, so that I could do two birds with one stone. Alan
Okay.
Scott and Alan Moore.
Alan Scott Moore. Demi Moore. Hey.
It's already
What is one thing you do that annoys your spouse? I like this one.
I'm sitting in the room of
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry, Jay. No offense to a 35-year-old sales exec. I love y'all. I work with a bunch of them. That's the first thing that came to my mind. That's why.
But annoying things that we do to our spouses, I think I annoy you by existing.
That's a little dramatic. No, I can name 3 things. Okay. One we talked about today, which I guess 4, because I'll talk about these things, but he'll keep doing them.
Uh-oh. It's already up to 4.
Well, oh no. 1, he'll turn the shower on and then go to the bathroom. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, I hate that so much.
That is such a waste of water. Like, that. You know we pay for that, right? Like, that
I
is
don't pay for it, so.
water gone to complete waste. So that annoys the hell out of me. He leaves his towels everywhere. So I'll find a towel like on the floor in the living room. And I'm like, Riley's and third, and this one I think is the worst for me. He's gotten a lot better about it because I don't think I've had to yell at him for a while. Like, here is the sink. And he will put his dish right here. And I'm like, dude, the sink is literally 2 inches from where you put your dish.
Because you know what? I might use that dish again.
You don't. You never do.
If it's a glass that was water, I might fill it with water or maybe juice. And if it was a plate that I had a sandwich on, I can just brush the crumbs off and make another sandwich.
But he never does. And so when I do the dishes, and then he'll stack multiple plates. So he'll put like a plate and then a bowl and then like a spoon in the bowl. And I'm like, God damn it. They're literally 2 inches away.
The other thing that I do that annoys you that you forgot to mention was I don't refill the water thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hate that about you too.
Is that like the Brita thing?
Like, tells me to refill the jug after I pour like 1 glass of water. She's like, you need to refill that. And I'm like, dude, like, it's just 1 glass. I'm not going to refill it every single freaking glass of water.
Is this the water pitcher you keep in the
I'm in
fridge?
agreement with that. I find it empty in the fridge for some reason. I don't understand.
It's cool. Back in the fridge empty. And I'm like,
Yes, exactly.
what?
And then you find breadcrumbs in it because he's been drinking straight from it. The thing that annoys my wife the most is smoking. So I have quit for the 45th time. We had a big enough fight about it that I genuinely have quit smoking. I do not want to go through that fight again. That was a fight that I actually put my hand through the wall board. I was so angry. So I know I'm not smoking ever again.
Well,
That is the thing that annoys her the most about me.
Deucing with the door open.
oh man, we're so past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're past
We'll
it.
have like full-blown conversations.
Hey, how was your day?
No.
No, she does. We're driving in the car and she'll yawn. It's this really weird like in the middle of the car, and it just freaks me the hell out in the middle of me driving, and I'm swerving across the road, and then she's like, "What?"
What do I do with you?
You do something like that whenever like something happens in the car, and then you get freaked out and like you yelp, and
I'll be like on my phone and see a cute picture of a puppy.
she'll be like,
Oh, I hate that.
and then I'm like,
really
what?
annoys
What?
me.
And you're like, it was a picture of a dog, and I'm like, fucking quit it.
Yeah. My wife is constantly in the car. But it's mostly about my driving.
Yes, with him.
What else do you do that annoys me? Oh, when she's in the shower, she faces the shower head like against the wall, and so the water pours down onto the side of the tub. And
You can tell we had a conversation about
yeah,
water today.
This happened today. It pours down on the side of the tub, and then it pours out onto the floor from there. So there's like water fucking everywhere. And then she's trying to blame me because she says that it's hitting the curtain, and I didn't move the curtain. And I took a shower today, and I faced the head in the opposite direction of where she puts it, and there was no water anywhere. So who won that argument? It was me.
No.
You want to know the argument that I did win the other day? And it's not even really an argument. But Megan's like, it was on Super Bowl night, and she goes, hey, I want to go get Whataburger. And I was like, okay, cool. So we get outside, and she says, you're driving. And I'm like, no, this was your idea. I don't even really want Whataburger right now. I really just want to go to 7-Eleven, get some Takis and taquitos, and I'll be good. And she's like, no, you're driving. And I said, I'm not driving. I really don't want to drive. So I went back inside, and she's like, fine, I guess we're just not getting Whataburger. A second later, literally, she's like, no, I'm going to go get Whataburger because I really want it, and you're not coming with me, and don't ask me to get anything for you. I was like, okay, fine. So I laid back down on the couch, like I was about to just turn on the TV and watch TV, and I get a call on my phone like 20 seconds later, get in the car now, and she drove us to Whataburger.
I've had this same conversation, oddly enough.
Did any of you snore? Riley has like this uncanny trick he can pull where we'll literally like finish a conversation in bed, and then 30 seconds later I hear and I'm like, how the hell did that just happen? Like, not even 30 seconds ago we were like fully engaged in a conversation.
No, I don't snore. She doesn't snore either.
Yeah, but you fall asleep everywhere.
That is true.
I'm surprised he hasn't fallen asleep on this live stream.
I've come close. No.
Yeah, my wife snores. That's awful. It's truly awful.
Do you
Like a
guys
lumberjack.
know how many fights you've won? If so, who's in the lead? I've won 3 arguments as opposed to Megan's infinite number of wins.
So I
Yeah.
obviously don't keep score, but he does.
Well, you gotta keep score.
If I were to keep score, I'd be in the negatives at this point.
Yeah, no, it's 123-0 right now. I'm the 0.
Oh man, yeah. So I'm Latina, and I have I don't want to say a history, but there is a certain stereotype, and I'll say that it can be true. Where we're very emotional and volatile. I just feel. When I feel deeply. When I love deeply. When I hate deeply. But anyway, I have like most people, like a 0 cheating policy. And I've told Riley like many, many times before that if I ever caught anything remotely close to cheating, I will take literally every single out-of-print omnibus and burn it. I got into like a really big argument one time, and I pulled his Thor omnibus and I held it out and I like had it in my hand. He's like, all right, no, I'm sorry, you win. Like, I'm sorry.
For the record, I've not cheated on my wife ever.
Yeah.
I've never cheated on her. She's threatened to stab me a few times, though.
Yeah.
Not like with a knife in my hand or anything. I'm just stabbing.
Like, I'll hit you where it hurts. If I stab you, that's just like temporary physical pain. If I burn you right in, that is mentally scarring for the rest of your life.
She knows which ones are the hard ones to get because she knows which ones I'm either A, proud of having gotten so long ago before they were hard to get, or B, I'm proud of having found them when they were hard to get.
Oh, and someone said sell to the group instead. I have said, like, if I've thought about that too. Like, I will, like, if we ever get divorced, I will inherit everything and I'll sell everything above cover.
I told her specifically to sell them undercover, even the hard to find books, and she said just to spite me, she would sell them above cover.
Yeah.
That's good. You guys are already planning your divorce. That's healthy.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, everything happens, but hopefully he'll never cheat on me and we won't ever have that situation.
Nope.
I think he just wants some love.
I think that's about it. I mean, I don't see any more questions. I'm looking back. Dun, 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 dun. She just came real with this comic book show. What is one? All right, we'll do one more. What is one thing you enjoy that you want your spouse to get into besides comics?
Besides comics.
Oh.
Let's see.
Duke.
I want Megan to go buy Resident Evil 7 so we can play it together.
We did.
We play video games
I mean, we
together.
do, and I feel like that would be a game we would really like, because most of the games we really like to play together are horror games and stuff. So I feel that that would be a good one that we could play together. But I don't really have a hobby that I want her to get into.
Like, typically, I will play the video game and he'll watch and give commentary, and then when things get too hard for me, he'll take it over. But he hasn't gone through The Last of Us, and he definitely needs to go through that, because that is, like, I think my number 1 or number 2 video game.
I gotta get that game.
It's so good.
Everybody says how great that game is.
It's really great. I wasn't, because I got it like right when it came out, and I wasn't expecting anything from it, and it just blew me away. But we played the last Tomb Raider that came out together, and that was a lot of fun. And then what else? That horror movie kind of thing.
Until Dawn.
Yeah, we did that together too. And I'm sure there are others that I'm just forgetting.
I play video games with my daughter, not my wife. My daughter, who is your age.
Cooking together is the best thing. Yeah, I agree. I like cooking together with her, even though she kicks me out of the kitchen after 30 seconds.
Yeah, she cooks and I clean sometimes.
Yeah, that's about right. All right, you want to go ahead and end this, Riley?
Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Really long.
Gone on, for a couple hours now. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I know we went on some tangents, but I think it feels like everyone had a lot of fun. I hope that you guys got some good recommendations for some cool books. We all talked about some books that had examples of love in them, and why we thought they were important. And then we had a lot of good conversations and had a couple of good surprise guests in here to talk about relationship advice and other similar things. So I'd say that we've had a really fun and successful episode. So I thank everyone for coming along with us for this couple of hours that we've been on here. And with that, I guess we will say goodnight. First off, guys, where can they find you? Luis?
You can find me at facebook.com/hardcover reviews, twitter.com/hardcover reviews. My YouTube channel is Hardcover Reviews. And if you want to support my channel, you can also add to Patreon at patreon.com/hardcover reviews, where we at this point literally have hours of content. The new show has been a big hit, like I've been promoting. Me and Jess have been doing that, and it's been a blast lately.
It has been. Has been great.
Awesome.
You can find me, the Omni Dog.
That's so cute.
On Riley's Facebook page, the Omnibus Collectors the Omnibus Collectors Swap. The Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community.
Got it.
Nailed it. Then I'm just Bragg there. I'm Omnidog there, and I'll try and help your dreams come true.
And then, of course, you can find me on this channel. You can find me on the Facebook group that Jess mentioned. My website, which I forgot to put this week's new releases on there. Omnibuscollector.com. And as I mentioned briefly earlier, I also started a Patreon, and I just didn't touch it because I really don't know what to do with it. But whenever I figure it out, I'll let you all know. So if you want to support me, you can each donate 1 penny.
You can find me on Instagram at Megan11. I'm just kidding.
No, go ahead. Where can we find you?
I'm going to share funny memes and makeup videos of guys wearing makeup.
I am an admin in the comic group.
She is.
So.
No, that's right. We have to watch what we say.
Too.
Yeah, you can
I
find
don't do
her.
anything.
You can catch her outside.
How about that?
All right. With that, I guess good night, everyone. Have a great evening. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Good luck, gentlemen who are asking out your love interests soon. And
flowers, always flowers, no matter what. Flowers.
Chocolates are good too.
Yeah, chicks dig flowers.
Megan really does like flowers. But yeah, so good night, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Bye.
No hate this time.
No.